Well, days before the first contest of the Republican primary season, the race is narrowing. Former New Jersey Governor Christie dropped out yesterday, just hours before the last debate in Iowa. George Thomas has more on Christie's exit and the sparring match between two of the top remaining candidates.
Good to see you, buddy.
The former New Jersey governor's sudden exit comes days before the first votes in the Republican contest are cast in Iowa next week.
And it's clear to me tonight that there isn't a path for me to win the nomination.
Christie, who focused much of his campaign on going after frontrunner Donald Trump, left with this parting shot.
I am going to make sure that in no way do I enable Donald Trump to ever be president of the United States again.
Christie's departure is seen as a boost for Nikki Haley.
Every time he lies, Drake University, don't turn this into a drinking game because you will be overserved by the end of the night.
Who went head-to-head in a heated debate with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in Iowa Wednesday night.
When you need someone standing and fight for you, don't look for Nikki Haley. You won't be able to find her if you had a search warrant.
The face-off had them debating Trump's record, border security, the war in Gaza, and funding for Ukraine's defense against Russia.
Nikki Haley clearly has the most to gain right now. She seems to have some momentum, but it's one thing to have momentum on paper. It's another thing running up against Donald Trump.
The former president, who is leading in the polls by big margins, was a no-show again in this debate, choosing instead to take part in a Fox News-sponsored town hall. At the same time, his two rivals were sparring on CNN.
I have polls that show me leading by a tremendous amount in New Hampshire and a lot in Iowa, and nationwide we're leading by almost 60 points.
Trump also said he knows who his VP choice will be, but gave no name. George Thomas, CBN News.
Well, as you just heard Trump say in George's reporting, he maintains a formidable lead in the polls heading into the Iowa caucuses next week. Some of his strongest supporters in the Hawkeye state are evangelicals, but a recent video used by the Trump campaign is rubbing some the wrong way. CBN's Matt Galka reports.
We will pray to God for our strength and for our liberty. We will pray for God and we will pray with God.
More than 50% of Iowa evangelicals support Donald Trump. At almost double the next closest candidate, the group is seen as the foundation for what some believe will be an easy win come caucus time.
Other candidates might be saying at this point don't believe the polls in Iowa, but the packed parking lots at his rallies and Trump supporters say otherwise.
Speaking on statistics, everybody loves him.
You believe the polling?
I believe the people I talk to. I mean, I can't hardly find anybody that doesn't like him. The people that don't like him either aren't active or they weren't going to change their minds anyway, but it's not very many.
Donald Trump is my guy. He has world support. He has a mission that needs to be completed. He has faith in what he's doing.
Trump boasts a number of pastor endorsements across the state.
Gates of hell will not prevail against him.
Including pastor and Iowa State legislator Brad Sherman, who prayed over the candidate at a December rally.
You know, I run into Christians all the time say, how can you support President Trump? He's an immoral man, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I always want to ask, oh, yeah, who is that one candidate that's perfect? I forgot. What's his name? Oh, yeah, there isn't one. I just hear these people that have this idea about the perfect candidate, and they don't cut anybody any slack.
Trump's rivals are now attacking his record on pro-life issues.
Do you think Donald Trump is not pro-life?
Of course not. I mean, when you're saying that pro-life protections are a terrible thing, by definition, you are not pro-life.
God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God gave us Trump.
A video shared on social media and played at some of his Iowa rallies, titled God Made Trump, has been rejected by some in the Iowa evangelical community.
He is definitely not the messiah of people for Iowa.
While Fort Des Moines Church of Christ pastor Mike DeMastis calls Trump the most pro-life president in America's history, he adds the video is disturbing to him and other evangelicals.
It's got this messianic tone to it, and that's not how we view Trump. And I have every bit of respect for our former president. I do. I genuinely do. But when you're positing yourself in a messianic way, that's maybe a little bit more humility, please.
Do enough voters share the same concerns to make a difference? That should be decided during the caucus vote on Monday.